What's up, fellas? 7:15, 208 Nation. We are here. We're live on Tuesday night, talking ball today and tomorrow, getting ready to rock and roll. Lots of stuff to talk about. Oh my gosh. Boise State Broncos by chance. You guys seen that guy? Have you guys heard of Ashton Genty? Have you heard of that guy?
Yeah, let's go.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. Anyway, that's college ball.
Broncos are number one in college football for points per game. Currently number one in points per game.
And Denver's probably going to make the playoffs. Let's get going right now.
Let's go. There's nothing better. There's nothing better than when we get to do a pod and all of our teams won. You know,
first place.
That is true.
That's the best.
Every single one of my teams won this week. So, like, my high school team won. If you didn't hear about that Highland game, woo!
Didn't
Boise
hear about
State
it.
won. We won 33 to. Yeah, it was bad. 33 to 3.
Wasn't even close.
Nice.
It was bad.
But it's
Boise State
Highland,
won.
so.
I mean.
Let's get into this crazy NFL Week 6, guys. There's lots to talk about. And as always, let's get started with the news. Let's jump into it.
What's going on?
Chance, there's quite a bit to talk about. Hit us with the news.
Yeah, man. So just a few things. Aaron Rodgers, he had a low ankle sprain. He's day-to-day. With that, the Jets fired Robert Saleh, which I also saw a report that Robert Saleh showed up the day he was going to get fired, prepared to fire Nathaniel Hackett. So,
that's what I heard.
Oh my gosh. And what a joke. What a joke to fire Robert Saleh. Oh, I mean, I'm not saying he was a good coach, but as a Nathaniel Hackett hater, he's the problem. He's the problem. Okay. Like,
I think Aaron Rodgers is the problem too.
Yeah, okay, that's totally fair. So Aaron Rodgers,
he's hard to watch. He's hard to watch play football now. He just tries too hard to make these throws that he can't make anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They just look really vanilla. Sorry. They look very vanilla and out of sync.
Every time he doesn't go right, he's like, "What's your fault?" And it's like, dude, yeah. We could easily have an Aaron Rodgers hater pod.
100%.
Yeah, we could this week.
60 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so Aaron Jones for the Vikings, he has a hip flexor injury. Most hip flexor injuries that way miss up to 2 weeks, but that hasn't been anything that the Vikings have said. That's just football doctors' speech. Nico Collins, they said day-to-day at first. Now he's week-to-week with a hamstring injury. Rashee Rice officially done for the season, had an LCL repair. He may, there's been some verbiage that he may be back in time, but we'll talk about him a little later in the pod. But expected to miss the season. Zach Moss has a high ankle sprain, expected to miss at least a week. Derek Carr, oblique injury, looks to miss multiple games.
It's going to be Chance's guy. Ready to go.
Guys, let me tell you, the opportunity to get on this pod and just talk about all the dudes I love in football this week has me hyped because Spencer Rattler looks like he could be starting. Spencer Rattler is a dude. I'm so pumped for Spencer Rattler. They're looking at starting him, but on rookie quarterback news, the Patriots have come out and said that Drake May is going to start against the Texans. So we're going to have May in November. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, love that.
Yeah,
So
that's
where
quite
we're
a bit of
at
news. Lots of good stuff. Go ahead, Justin.
So with the Devontae Adams stuff, the two teams that he was rumored to are in some turmoil now, right? Mm-hmm. Meaning the Jets and the Saints. So where do they turn to now? What do you guys think?
I don't think he cares. I think he still goes to either one.
Okay. Even with Derek Carr probably being out at least, 3 to 4 weeks?
Yeah, I think he's now leaning more towards Aaron Rodgers. They're probably on the phone together going, hey, you still want to come over? Yeah, man, I'll be there. I hope. Yeah, we'll make it work. They're on the phone daily.
have you guys heard anything? I mean, like, I heard that the Steelers are making a big push. I also heard that the only team that is offering the Raiders their asking price are the Chiefs. So the Chiefs are like,
funny.
hey, yeah, we'll pay it. And the Raiders are like, no.
Nah.
Yeah,
I don't
No,
know.
he should go to the Jets. It sounded like this morning, at least when I was going through Twitter, it was like 48 hours, like this should accelerate into something. Like the Jets were in London this week, so it's kind of hard to get a trade facilitated. But
he needs to go a place where he has instant rapport with the quarterback. There's no time for him to develop rapport. That's why it's Carr or Rodgers. That just makes the most sense to me.
And I know the Steelers want him real bad, but I just don't see them being a team that he feels like, what's
they're
he
not
going to
even
do?
playing George Pickens. Did you guys see that snap count from last night?
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, no, we saw it.
But I also
Arthur Smith, baby. There he is.
And they can't run the ball hardly either. It's like you're almost waiting on Warren to come back. So I don't know. We'll see.
Sneaky waiver wire
Anyway.
pick, Jalen Warren.
Absolutely. Which is a great segue. Let's jump right into the Week 6 waiver wire. Hey, Week 6. We're talking Week 6 waiver wire. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment. We're here to help you win your fantasy football league. And this is how it gets done. You join in here, you sit down, you talk to us a little bit, and we help you win your league. And you win your league by week to week. So we're Week 6. If you're on the losing side, if you're 2-3, 1-4, don't panic. Let's get into it. So first things first, guys. Here's our waiver wire, at least with the bye week guys, right? So we know the Chiefs, the Vikings, the Rams, and Dolphins. Dolphins probably couldn't come at a better time to be on a bye week. They need some help. Chiefs going in 5-0 are doing just fine. We actually had a Travis Kelce sighting this last weekend, which was pretty cool. Rams need some help as far as some rest, and then the Vikings also getting a little bit of rest. So you are looking to help replace some of these studs that you have on your team. So let's get into it. Justin, you're going to be our first guy up. Here's some of the guys that you are looking to pick up this week.
Oh, man. Caleb Williams. He appeared. He appeared last week. Right, Matt? Was that pretty excited to see him, Matt? Sheesh.
Yeah, him and DJ Moore finally connected.
Oh, my gosh. 20 for 29, 304, 2 touchdowns. And he ran the ball a little bit. Did he get that touchdown getting called back? Because he ran for a touchdown and like lineman downfield or something like that.
Yeah, I think it did get called back.
I just saw an excerpt of it. So the next couple of weeks he's got Jacksonville, not very good defense. Then he's got his bye week. Then he's got Washington and Arizona. So he's got a good little stretch. Hopefully he can build on this a little bit. Hopefully they open up the offense a little bit. DJ Moore did some good things. It was fun to watch him ball out, kind of live up to that potential that he needed to live up to. So always good to see that. I think the Bears can be a really good offense when things are starting to click. Again, the DeAndre Swift experience, I'm not really sure about yet, so we'll see. The next guy, Tank Bigsby. It just felt like he was like an afterthought. Like I remember all last year, I remember me and Chance would always talk about Tank Bigsby, like coming out of Auburn, like he's a stud, and then like wasn't used at all. So my caveat here is it seemed like a split backfield. He got 40% snap count last week. 13 carries, 101 yards, averaged 7 yards, 2 touchdowns, had 1 reception for 28 yards. So, I mean, he made the most of it. What's up, Matt?
He's the better running back right now. He's better than Etienne. He is absolutely the better running back. When you look at them, just watch them right as of right now, he's better.
Does it bother you guys at all, the reports that Etienne has been banged up, that he got banged up, and then he was banged up again at the end of the game? That change your Tank Bigsby takes it all?
Yeah. It makes me like him more.
It feels like Etienne always has some kind of nagging thing going on. I think Bigsby seems like he could be like a David Montgomery to Travis Etienne's Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe a little bit similar role. Idealistically, that's what every team wants. Okay, that's what the Falcons should be doing. That's what the Bears should be doing with Roshan and DeAndre Swift. In my honest opinion, do I think those guys are the same athletes as them? No, I think Tank Bigsby could just be a bell cow guy. He's got Chicago next. New England and Green Bay, which don't have crazy stout run defenses, but let's see what these next 3 weeks look like. Maybe he takes some of that backfield.
I do think let me rephrase it. We told you last week to sit ETN, and Bigsby came out better. So we know what we're talking about. Go get Bigsby.
Yep. Next is Tolbert. He was a guy I think we talked about on waivers last week a little bit. Brian Cooks is out for at least 4 weeks. He's on IR. 89 snap percentage. Again, I think this offense is probably ran through Jake Ferguson and CD. But Jalen Tolbert is a nice third option in a high passing volume offense. Again, 10 targets, awesome. 7 receptions, 87 yards. He had a touchdown as well. He's a big dude, 6'1", 195. He's not some small little scat back guy. He can play beside CD. CD is more of that slot type guy. That's kind of the role he's grown into. I think Tolbert can be a dude. I think he can be your wide receiver 3, a second flex, or a flex in a lot of leagues.
Yep, I agree. I think he has to be the guy. If Dallas wants to get anywhere, they're going to look for somebody to step up. We weren't quite sure who, but Tolbert seems to be that guy for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving on. Justin, you good with your 3?
Yep.
I'm going to take that as a yes. Chance is our next guy up here. So
let's
you're three guys that you want to. You're telling us to go get.
Okay, so I don't want to just chase the Kirk Cousins 500-yard passing game, which what a move to induct Matt Ryan into the Ring of Fame for Atlanta. And then Kirk Cousins says, oh, by the way, on the night you're inducted, I'm going to go beat your single game passing record. Take that. Here's the thing. Kirk Cousins I think he's more than just a streaming quarterback. I think if you have Derek Carr, you can go get Kirk Cousins. Okay. Kirk Cousins plays Carolina, who he can pass on. He plays Seattle, who is always has the potential to put up points that he could keep up with. He plays Tampa Bay. I think that's going to be a shootout. Then he plays Dallas. That, again, I think could be a shootout. At the very least, we still don't know on Dallas's defense. So that's 4 games over the next 4 weeks that not only is Kirk Cousins in a positive game script, but he looks like unlike Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins looks like he is recovering every week more and more from that injury last year. And he's getting more rapport with his wide receivers, right? Like Drake London looks good. Darnell Mooney looks like he should be owned in every league. Even Kyle Pitts made an appearance out of nowhere this weekend, which I'm sure Lineberry was hyped about. The only one who didn't get the goods was Brian Robinson.
Drake had a really good game. It was super fun to just watch him just get peppered with targets and just play basketball on the football field. Like he would just box the dudes out and just running hard. That was really fun. And Mooney just looks like a dude. He should have had another touchdown. Yeah,
I think Kirk Cousins is more than just a streaming quarterback at this point. I think, especially with the next month worth of games, you can look at him as spend some fab on him, get him as your quarterback if you're struggling, and roll with him. My next guy, oh my gosh, there are guys that you just get pumped about it being crazy in the head, like Lineberry and I are, where we just talk dynasty all the time, right? Like Tyrone Tracy was a guy that I got put onto this spring, and he's a running back out of Purdue, and the dude was a converted wide receiver, played running back.
Typical Purdue guy.
He came out and he looked great in Devin Singletary's absence, right? He absolutely balled out. Let's see, he had what was his stat line? 18 carries for 129 yards, okay, which is 7 yards per carry. He scored, in half point, 13 and a half fantasy points. The dude was a dog out there. He looked more explosive than Devin Singletary, and we still don't know what Devin Singletary's injury is going to look like. But I think Tyrone Tracy, at the very least, if he didn't earn himself more touches, I think he earned himself a serious look in that backfield, but they're paying Devin Singletary. I think it should at least be a 50-50 split. And they have Cincinnati coming up, run funnel. They have Philadelphia. That could be a sketchy game. Pittsburgh's on that, but his upcoming schedule looks favorable. Even if you have him as a flex, I think he's worth picking up. You guys, any thoughts on my boy Tyrone?
Okay, he could be the guy easily. He's worth a waiver wire flyer if anything.
I just feel like Tyrone Tracy was one of the guys this summer that when I looked at running backs, I said, what's a rookie running back that could come in and surprise and take a job from an incumbent vet? Tyrone Tracy was high up on that list for me. And so it's just good. It's just nice when a guy that you're high on comes out and shows up. You know what I mean? That's the best.
That Giants offense has been like, I don't know if it's been good, but it's been super fantasy relevant. Like there was someone talking about a Wendell Robinson. They're like, is he good? I'm like, guys, like, I don't know, but like he's getting like 14 targets a game. Like it doesn't matter. Like in PPR, he's really good. I'll take him all day. Like they've been super relevant. Their backfield's been relevant. Even Theo Johnson appeared last game, he was one of my guys out of Penn State. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. This offense is weird. Like it's just weirdly fantasy relevant.
So my last waiver pickup, I don't know if it's going to work out because the quarterback situation in Indianapolis is so tough. I think Indianapolis is better with Joe Flacco. I just think they're better with Joe Flacco at quarterback. Okay, he's proven he's still got it. If Joe Flacco were to start the majority of the rest of the games going forward, which I don't see because I think Anthony Richardson will come back, but Joe Flacco, he loves to target good wide receivers. And Josh Downs is he's a baller, man. He's coming off his injury. He played 61% of snaps this last week, had 12 targets, 9 receptions, 69 yards. Not great, but he got into the end zone last week. I really think that we thought Adonai Mitchell could have been really good in this offense, but I think Josh Downs is saying, hey, I still have a role here. And I think for his roster percentage, he should be picked up in most leagues, especially with bye weeks coming up. I think he's easily a flex play.
He is sneaky, and Chance, you said it the best. If Flacco's that guy, I love Downs. I think he's the number one wide receiver on this team that could give you some fantasy points. Wow, he is a steal that nobody's talking about. Yeah. AR5 coming in would ruin that, but get Downs and you can get him for dirt cheap right now. I love that pick. I'm all over it. The reason why I say that a little bit, and I'm going to talk about this just briefly with Downs, but I want to talk about Alec Pierce, who has been that guy. Who has just been getting 3 targets, roughly 3 or 4 targets here. I think 3 mostly, and he's still putting up lots of yards. So what I'm getting at is they're throwing the ball, they're spreading it out, and Downs is going to be the biggest recipient of all that. I'm just telling you, it's coming. I
saw the best comparison of Alec Pierce this year. They're like, Alec Pierce this year was last year's Rashid Shaheed, where it's like, you only get a few targets a game, but all the targets are bomb deep touchdowns.
3 for 3 bombs.
Yeah, and it's like he stays relevant, and I would love to see where Alec Pierce is ranked on the year so far as fantasy production for wide receivers. He's got to be up there. He has had some great games. He had one stinker game, but I wonder where he's at.
Yeah, he's averaging 28 3 yards per catch.
Yeah, he is currently wide receiver 17 in half point PPR.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's way up there. So
that's crazy.
And I think that just bodes well to Flacco, right, for the passing. That's going to make these receivers. So you got to keep an eye on that.
It's hard to make that choice as an organization to say, hey, we're going to move off of. Was Anthony Richardson a top 5 pick?
Yeah, he was the 5. He was
the 5 pick. Yeah, that's tough.
That's tough.
It's tough.
Tell us what you got.
Moving on. Yeah, you got it. Here's my 3 right here, and they're a little bit vanilla, but I think it's just worth noting. So we in New England, the Patriots, they are going out with the old, in with the new. Like Chance said in the beginning of the broadcast, Drake May, pick him up. I don't like it doesn't hurt because you don't know, especially if you're in Superflex. Pick him up, put him on your bench, see what happens. Good things may happen. He's a good quarterback. He's a good prospect coming out. Worth a shot. If he's on your waiver wire, go get him. Jalen Wright, and I love
this. I love this pick.
So we all know HN went out with a concussion.
I hope you listened to us last week, and I hope you faded him. I told you fade HN.
Did.
So hopeful that you listened to me.
You absolutely did. So I think he went out in the second quarter. Jalen Wright comes in, gets 13 carries for 86 yards, 6.6 average. It feels like A-Chain 2.0 a little bit. And if he's not already on your bench, you should have already had this guy handcuffed for A-Chan. He should already be on your team. But if he's not, get him out there. They'll utilize him. I know Miami's on a bye. I get that. And A-Chan will probably be back the next game. But concussions can reoccur. You just don't know. I do feel like now A-Chain is now an injury-prone player. After last year and then getting this, you got to pick up Jalen Wright and Mostert. You got to have those guys. Might be a three-headed monster, but I think Wright has the biggest upside, and he's got elite speed, which they love in Miami. A tight end that's sneaky good is Otten. He has done. I think it was Justin that said to pick him up last week, or at least play him, and he's been good. He had. I'll tell you the game splits here. Just a second. Oops. Last week was 60.
In this tight end economy, it's awesome to have something.
Yes, exactly. He's getting plenty of targets. His minimum is 2 the first 2 games, but it's been 8, 9, and 4. He's getting 47, 52, and 44 yards. And I know it's an easy number 3 behind Evans and oh shoot, I forget his name.
Godwin?
But Godwin, thank you. He's the easy number 3. But Chance just nailed it, which I was going to bring up is he's a tight end that's relevant, and we just haven't seen that a lot in the NFL right now. So go pick him up, put him on your bench, and stash him. So before we move on here, got a comment. Hey yo, who should I drop for waivers? I need an RB I can sit this week. My bench is Kirk, Mustard, Hunt, Algier, have Bijan, AR, have Fields, Andrew, have Likely. Ooh.
So I know my.
I know mine is too.
Okay, Linebearer, I'll let you go first. Beauty before age.
I'm dropping Mostert.
Really? Oh my gosh, that is not what I was gonna say. I like this.
I'm pretty out on the Dolphins offense. I don't know what's going on with it. I think when they do come back, if Tua does come back week 8, like they are saying, I think Jalen Wright is going to be pretty hard to ignore. I think they're going to run 3 different backs, which scares me a little bit. I still have faith in Andrews. He did some stuff. I think you have to keep Algier. Kareem Hunt got a ton of carries. You have to keep Algier because of the handcuff. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
To me, it's Christian Kirk. I think that Brian Robinson Jr. has, this last week and what he's put on the field, like Brian, sorry, did I say Brian Robinson? Brian Thomas.
Thomas.
Jr. He looks legit, man. He looks legit, and I could see Christian Kirk being a guy who's moved at the trade deadline. Like, I just think his time for what he was has passed. So to me, it's Christian Kirk, but I'm a running back whore. I like holding on to those running backs. You just never know.
Does Trevor Lawrence not scare you guys at all?
He scares me less than AR5.
Okay, just that Jaguars offense is bad. They had a good week this week. I get it, but he's not a good quarterback.
Yeah, Tingley, I'll break the tie. I'm going to go with Chance. I go ahead and just drop Kirk. I think he is now the wide receiver 3 in that offense. Gabe Davis threw an absolute fit on the sideline with Trevor Lawrence because he missed him on a wide open, but it's like whatever. I think Kirk is now the probably the 3. You're okay to drop him and pick up a guy. So good stuff coming here. We are going to jump right into it. Any questions on our waiver wire stuff? Anyone we want to talk about individually? We good?
I think that, like, for me, that Cade Otton pickup is a really good pickup because you just look at what Baker Mayfield's doing. I think he really has command of that offense, and I just want parts of offenses that are explosive. And I think Cade Otton's I picked him up last week everywhere, and the 5.9 points that he gave me, I was stoked about. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a lot,
for sure,
but it's more than the goose egg that I've gotten from other tight ends that I drafted high.
100%. And
Yep.
if
Tingley, you said thanks. You are welcome.
one thing to like keep track of is like I think we talked a little bit about this. After the waivers have gone through, check who people have dropped because Mark Andrews got dropped in a league, and I just picked him up because I think he is good still. He's just having a weird year. He's on the field, like snap percentage is fine. Like he finally got some targets. Like just be patient with him. I still think he's gonna finish as a top 8 tight end. So just like if he's out there, go pick him up.
Yeah, I had Tank Dell was dropped in one of my leagues, so I went and picked him up. It was just kind of crazy, but hey, moving on. So we're moving on. We're gonna get right into drop them. Here's guys that you guys can go ahead and drop. So let's get into that. Yeah, these guys have bombed out. The way it kind of reads here, you'll see Justin's first. He's got the Rodgers, Rice, Gibson. You want to talk about those three, Justin, why you're okay dropping these 3 players?
So Aaron Rodgers, I watched a predominant amount of that Jets game, and I'm just like he was throwing off the platform a lot, so he like feet weren't set or feet were completely off the ground throwing slants and like Chance said, like just getting mad at his wide receivers, like he's overthrowing dudes, like throwing hospital balls. Like it was awesome to see Garrett Wilson get peppered with targets. But he just doesn't look like Aaron Rodgers. He does not look the same. Like when he got hurt, I was like, all right, he's done for the year. Like we're done. Tyrod Taylor's going to go in and it's probably going to help Garrett Wilson. He just doesn't look the same. I don't know if everybody's bought into like the stuff that he's selling. Like he's just, I'm just kind of over it. Him and Watson, I'm just like, all right, whatever. I put my faith in Watson last week, and
that's rough, dude.
And
I saw you pick him up, and I loved giving you crap because you hate him, you know, and you had to pick him up.
And look what he did. He did nothing. He did nothing. So like I can't bet on those guys. I would not bet on Rodgers. The next guy is Rice. Has nothing to do with talent. I think he's done. I don't think he comes back. If he comes back, it's going to be a very limited version of him. So I think it's okay to drop him now. I think somebody's going to pick him up and put him on IR, and they can just use their IR slot. I don't think he's worth it. And the last one is Gibson, Antonio Gibson, who I thought, had a chance this week. Like Jared Mayo came out, and we're gonna sit Stevenson. They sat him, I think, for like 4 plays, and then he got it right back out there, played. I don't think he's worth starting. Again, that might change with May coming in. That a new quarterback should change that system. Maybe he starts getting more balls in the backfield, a la Chance's guy Tyrone Tracy. He was a wide receiver coming out. But man, I'm pretty out on that on Gibson. I think Stevenson kind of leads this backfield.
There you go, Chance. You've got the middle group there. Your reasons why we're dropping these 3.
Yeah, I think Juwan Jennings is a guy that, everyone ran to the waiver wire, picked him up, and he was serviceable while the Niners were at a low point. But now everyone's back, right? Kittle's looking good. He's cooking. Brandon Ayuk he finally had that breakout game. I hope you bought him before this weekend. I hope you went and got him because he looked great. And even though Deebo Samuel absolutely stunk this last week, he's back and he's healthy. And I just think Juwan Jennings, he's a guy that he's an easy drop. Because I wanted to have a wide receiver, a running back, and a quarterback. And I just want to throw this out there. Well, how do you guys feel about Calvin Ridley as a player? Would you drop Calvin Ridley?
I don't know.
Is that
I have dropped him.
Yeah,
in one league, but
he was a guy.
You drop him, I bet nobody picks him up.
Yeah, I bet DeAndre Hopkins finishes higher than he does the rest of this year. But so that's my wide receiver. My running back is Zamir White. I was so Matt and I were on the same. We were co-conducting that train this offseason. We were so pumped for Zamir White. Really excited about him. And he just, one, he didn't play. He had a groin injury. And then he just has looked super unproductive. I think that he's an easy drop for me. It's just not the direction that the Raiders are going right now. Sneaky guy to watch out for. He hasn't gotten a whole lot of usage yet. But I think then if you see Dylan Laub start to pick up some touches. I think Dylan Laub's a better running back than Amir Abdullah. I'm waiting for the Raiders to figure that out and figure out a way to start using Dylan. They haven't put him in games, but he's a guy to keep on your radar. It's probably a couple weeks out, but Dylan Laub's a guy to think about. And then just like Lineberry said, I rage dropped Deshaun Watson as soon as I could in Dynasty today. I got on. I didn't even wait for my waivers to run. I wasn't even going to replace him. He didn't deserve that. I rage dropped him.
Just have an empty bench
in Dynasty. Yep. I said, cool. I'll just have an empty bench spot to pick up an extra defense in Dynasty. Stupid. What a waste.
Have you seen what the dead cap would be if they chose to cut him?
No, what is it? It's something terrible.
$172 million.
That's insane.
Oh.
Ouch.
That's such a crazy number. Yeah. They're like, they could pay Ohio State to play for them with that much dead cap. I loved it. It's such a good tweet.
That's crazy.
So those are my guys.
I will tell you the White thing with. So just so viewers understand, so you talked about Abdullah. He's 31 years old, where Labe is 24. So it's just a matter of time before he gets carries. So I agree with that. My three guys, Ford, Gesicki, and Leggett. Look, Ford, Justin and I were both really high on the Ford. I think Chance was a little bit too. We thought maybe he could be explosive in this backfield, and they're splitting carries. So I'm okay with maybe you don't drop him, maybe you can trade him, but gosh, I just wanted him to do well so bad, that I tried to pick him up in everywhere I could, but I'm kind of over it. I think you can cut him. Gesicki was another one. I think Chance and I were both on the Gesicki train coming out of Miami, going to go to Cincinnati, and they're going to get him the ball. And
Maybe
Eric All is really
daily appearance on this show, man.
Yeah.
He's now droppable. I'd rather have, like I said, Otten. You could drop Gesicki for Otten. And Leggett, everybody was on the Leggett hype train. Go get him last week, and he had one catch last week. I wasn't on it. It's that offense isn't that good. Just let somebody else take Leggett. I'm dropping him.
Chance, you got something? Let's hear it.
I was just going to say that Xavier Leggett, he did leave the game with an injury, and it was a shoulder injury, so it doesn't seem like it's serious. He does expect to play against the Falcons this weekend, but I would agree. I don't think he's worth rostering right now.
Give it time, but I agree. Not quite there yet, but those are our drop-ems. Feel free to drop these guys. Maybe you can get somebody to trade you for name value on some of these guys, but we are certainly okay pulling the plug on these fellas. Next segment, which is kind of fun. We haven't done this yet. We're gonna get into a little bit of trades here, so let's get into that and see what's going on. So I got a list of guys right here: Robinson, Dowdle, MHJ, Swift, Williams, and we'll let you know what Williams it is in a minute. Brees, Lave, and Dell. Are we buying and selling these guys? And I want to work from bottom to top here. So let's start with Justin. Dell, what are you doing with Dell? Are you going to try to buy him right now with some injuries out of that Houston offense, or are you looking to sell him because he hasn't really been that good?
Are you talking Rico or Bijan? Which one are we talking about?
No, we're talking the bottom.
Dell, bottom. We're going to start at the bottom. We're going to go the bottom to top.
Matt likes to do this. Matt's like, I'm going to order it and then switch it up as soon as we can.
Yep.
First order, Matt Osen.
Tank Dell is an interesting one. Like, I feel like right now is probably the lowest. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking more Dynasty right now than I am thinking Redraft. I think in Redraft he probably scares me a little bit. But, like, Dynasty-wise, like, I'm trying to get him right now. I don't know if his price is ever going to be lower. I don't think Stephon Diggs can keep this up. I've been super wrong on that. He just keeps getting touchdowns. I don't understand. Nico's getting a crap ton. I don't think he'll play the next couple of weeks, so maybe this is where Tank Dell starts to blow up a little bit, take over that role with that deep ball. So I think if you go get him for cheap, because this is probably the lowest he'll ever be. I've seen him on waivers, which baffles me. If you would have told me that at the beginning of the season that Tank Dell would be on waivers, I would have said, you're freaking crazy.
Chance, anything to add to that?
I just want to echo that. I think that I think that if you look at the Texans, they are probably the best one-loss team in the NFL right now. And I think that they're going to continue to figure things out, sort things out. They have a good enough record right now that they can really start to fine-tune this offense over the next couple of weeks and figure out what it is that works best for them. And we saw the Texans work really well last year when CJ Stroud targeted Tank Dell. And I just think that now, I mean, if Nico is week to week, I think there's no reason why CJ shouldn't start finding his BFF for more production. I would agree and go buy him. Though Lineberry, if now's the best time to buy him in Dynasty, come holler at your boy, man. Come see what you can give me for Tank Dell in Dynasty.
You want Pitts?
Yep.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh man, that's the biggest buy low straight across swap. Tank Dell for George for Pitts right there. Kyle Pitts.
That's
oh
right.
my gosh.
Those are both our darlings, man. That's tough.
That's crazy.
That's right.
What
So for this segment purpose, we are talking redraft Dynasty for another day. But Dell, I agree. I think I'm on the buy on Dell right now. I'm going to go get him. I think they got to figure out a way to get him the ball. Now, this all depends if he can stay healthy. But I do like Dell a lot. Moving on to Olave. Chance, I'm going to let you start off with Olave. Are you buying or selling Olave right now?
I am a hot sell on Olave, and I think Olave is a good player. Okay, I think he plays really well. But a couple things. One, you have Derek Carr who's down to injury, so any of that chemistry that they might have been growing, which they didn't. Derek Carr was BFFs with Rashid Shaheed. So you don't have that chemistry Olave is going to have with probably Spencer Rattler. And the New Orleans Saints are the number one run team in the NFL. Okay. They run the ball more than any other team percentage-wise in the NFL right now. And I think they're going to continue to lean on that. Like, I think Alvin Kamara is going to probably continue to eat. So if you're the number one running team and you just lost your quarterback, your starting quarterback, to me, you can still get something for Olave name-wise. I think you can get something for Olave value-wise. I'm selling.
Justin?
So with the Saints, again, not just because I'm a Saints hater, but I am. But, like, it feels like they just continually keep losing offensive linemen. Like, they were already down 2 guys, and I think they lost 2 more. Like, they are on their third or fourth string center last night. Like, it's not looking good for them health-wise. Breaking in a new quarterback, like what Chance said, they probably should lean on the run game to help him out. So I would sell Olave. Like you felt like this game should be Olave's because it's like Drake London had a big game, and then Garrett Wilson had a big game. And it's like the triplets, and then Chris Olave had 4 yards. And it's like you got to show us something. Like I think you could sell him now. Just on name base, you should get something back.
So I'm going to complete the trifecta here, and it's relatively easy. And let me just give you some stats very quickly. So Shaheed, 3 touchdowns, Olave 1. Olave, 275 yards, Rashid, 385. Targets, Olave is 28, Shaheed, 34. Right? Okay, I don't need to go on any further. Shaheed's just simply outplaying Olave right now, and I don't know if it's scheme or what it is with the motions and just finding the deep down ball or what's available. But I'm with you guys. Probably if you don't selling dirt cheap, but if you can sell for reasonable, I'm okay with that. Moving on to number 3, a big name, third from the bottom here, Mr. Breece Hall. Interesting with what's going on with the Jets. We've had this conversation all evening. Justin, what are you doing with Breece?
I'm trying to get him. I still a big believer in Breece. Like, it felt like he started really slow last year, maybe coming back from the injury. Maybe he's just a slow starter in general. He's one of the 3 most talented backs in the league with Christian McCaffrey out now. I think you got to bet on him. Like him and Bijan have both, like, not that Bijan's been super disappointing as Breece has, but like Bijan's been consistent, but it's not like explosions, and Breece has that capability to be explosive. So I would buy him. If people are trying to get off Breece, like really good running back, which are very scarce, I would go try and buy him right now.
Chance, agree, disagree?
I'm a Breece Hall owner in a couple of leagues, and I am really trying to decide what I want to do with him. Do I take him and I go buy, an upgraded running back who's actually scoring points? And then I think to myself, do I think I can really get away with selling? Like, I don't think I could sell Brees Hall for Brian Robinson Jr. right now, and I'd probably rather have Brian Robinson Jr. on my team based on this season. I don't know if I could do that, but I also look at Brees's upcoming schedule: Buffalo, and then at Pittsburgh and at New England. Both of those are really good defenses, Pittsburgh and New England, and I think Braylon Allen's a problem for me. I'm a Brees Hall sell. Because I think Braylon Allen keeps cutting into his stuff. And I also think that the next stretch of games, if you are 2-3 and you need to start getting wins, I think he's a sell. If you are 4-1, 3-2, and you can survive the next 3 weeks with him, he's probably a buy or a hold. But to me, it's dependent on where you're at. I am 1-4 in the league that I have him. And I hope none of my league mates are listening to this, because they're just going to decline all of my decent offers and try to lowball me. But I think I'm a sell on Brees Hall.
Yeah, it is a very situational thing. I 100% chance agree with you. It just depends on where you're at. If I can trade somebody and get Brees Hall and somebody else to improve my 1-4 team, I will do that all day. I have to. I got to gamble. I do think the Jets are going to have to rely on the run game and not so much on Aaron Rodgers. That's what it feels like. It's like Aaron Rodgers, our quarterback, let him sling it and throw it and do all this stuff. And they've gotten away from Brees Hall, where they got him. Dude, just give the ball to your guy. Let's just start running the ball a little bit. Let's put it in his hands. You might get some duo running back there, but I think Brees Hall he proved it last year. Let him work. I just don't see them not using him. That's just bad. That's bad coaching. So, all in all, I think I'm trying to buy him, but I might wait a couple of weeks and then go from there. So, Williams, and I told you, so we're going to talk about Williams. Which Williams are we talking about? Are we talking about Caleb? No. We're going to talk about Chance's guy, Javonte Williams. And just because it's Chance's guy, I'm going to start with Justin, because I want Chance to have the last word on Javonte.
Hey, good news, because Justin's also a huge Javonte
guy. I'm a Javonte guy. All right, so he finally had a game this week. I don't know if it's because Denver's offense decided to play offense this week, but 63% snap share, awesome. You want 70-30, 60-40, I'll take that. 13 carries, 61 yards, average 4.7 yards a carry. The big thing was he caught the ball. 6 targets, 5 catches, 50 yards. I'll take that every day and twice on Sunday. It seems like his snap percentage is going to maybe Sean Payton is starting to trust him, I hope. Maybe Bidet, is that his last name? Bidet. He's probably done for a while. Maybe he takes some of that stuff. It feels like, I don't know, Chance could probably correct me since he watches Denver games. Jalil isn't getting as much work. I want to keep Williams. I want to hold him and be like, you're going to be a great running back. Like, I know you are. Like, just hold him for a couple more weeks. See what he can do. His next couple games, again, he played against Las Vegas this week. Got a tough sledding with the Chargers in New Orleans. But then he's got Carolina. I think these next 2 games, maybe just see what he is. I mean, if he doesn't pop off these next 2 games or be at least a top 24 running back, his value is going to be pretty low. So I think just hold and wait, see what he is. That's my opinion. I'm a Javonte truther. Like him and J.K. Dobbins, I just want them to be good. So I'm going to hold him.
Fair enough. Justin, agree, disagree? Or Chance, sorry, agree, disagree?
I hate it. I'm a Javonte Williams sell right now. And I want Javonte to be so good, but I'm a sell on him because Audric Estime is scheduled to come off of IR this week. He had an ankle injury, and I think it's going to take him some time. My biggest fear, 2 things. Sean Payton said earlier this week before the game, he said, hey, hold on. We're really excited to see what we've got from a couple of young guys coming up. And, it's just coach speak. And I was really hoping it was going to be Blake Watson, who I really liked out of Memphis this last year. But I think that with these a couple of tougher games coming up, if Javonte doesn't cement himself as that guy against the Chargers, if he doesn't, and they go into some games where they're facing some tougher defenses, some stacked boxes.
New Orleans is good defense. Yeah,
I think I think it's gonna be easier for them to say, hey, maybe let's see what we've got in Audric Estime and see what he can do. Now, that being said, I really like that the Broncos offense is starting to click. I think that they are figuring out, hey, Bo Nix, maybe he's starting to figure it out, but our defense is really good, and maybe we just want to run the clock and run the ball. I like his split, but I would sell him after that. If you can package him, I just don't know what you can get for him. But to me, Javonte Williams is a sell, and I hate it. Dagger to my heart to say it. What do you think, Matt?
That's fair.
We're split. We're split again.
I know you guys keep splitting, and I also keep favoring Chance here. I think I'm also selling Williams. Just another offense. Look, they're a defense first team, and they're gonna their offense is gonna score a ton of points. They're just gonna try to hold. Reminds me of my Bears a little bit, but that defense is legit. And Williams is gonna get his too. I just don't know if he's gonna be enough of a fantasy value to really help your team down the road. So if you can sell him, I think it's a good thing. So. Moving on to Swift, which is my guy. I'll start with Swift. And this one's real easy. Sell him for as high as you possibly can. He's had 2 great weeks, and I know they want to get him the ball in space and whatnot, but I promise you need to sell Swift. Sell. I've got him in a couple leagues, and I'm trying to sell him. I know my guys are going to be listening, but I am trying like heck to sell Swift where I can. Sell him. And if I can't stress enough, sell. Chance, Justin, thoughts?
I love this exercise because I love seeing how different we are. I am a DeAndre Swift buy guy right now.
No!
I think
no!
That
is not the message of this show.
I think DeAndre Swift had himself a good week and a good couple of weeks. And it might be hard to buy him. But from week 6 to week 10, he faces offenses that give up the most points to running back. Okay. Jacksonville, he doesn't have a buy in there. Then Washington, then Arizona. He has a rougher week 10 against New England, but then Green Bay after that. Like I think that DeAndre Swift is in a position to really win you some games this next month.
Oh,
and
no.
I hate it because I don't want him to be good. I'm just waiting on the Khalil Herbert breakout again. You know what I mean? But I am a DeAndre Swift buy, and I will be the only one of the 3 of us to say it.
He will swiftly steal your soul, I promise.
Yeah, all right.
You know what the best thing about the Swift thing is? Roshan Johnson coming in and just vulturing touchdowns. Love it.
Love it.
Baby.
Love it.
I must sell. I'm not a Swift guy. I never will be.
Yep, fair enough. Marvin Harrison Jr., this is a tough one. Man, he's been okay. He's been tough. He wasn't really good this last week as far as fantasy goes, but
maybe the 3rd best rookie.
Yeah, Justin, go ahead. I think you're right, but go ahead. What are you doing with Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I mean, realistically, I think you guys could probably agree with me. I'd rather have Neighbors, and I would rather have Brian Thomas right now, and maybe Rome. I don't know though. Rome's been iffy, but I mean the targets have been there. Catches haven't, and like I've always wanted to say follow the targets, but maybe it's just going to take him a long time, and I would probably sell him. I think he still has that name value. I don't know. This Cardinals offense should be so much better, in my opinion, and they're just not.
Well, do you guys know what the Cardinals are in division right now?
Probably second.
Are they second?
Oh, I don't know. They might. Because the 49ers are 2-3. Let's see.
They're second. They're second.
Yeah,
Seahawks them and the Niners are 2-3, but they have the tiebreaker over the Niners. Seahawks are at the lead with 2. So I mean, like the Cardinals, to me, they just beat the Niners. They stole a game from them. They are in contention in this division. Either the Niners or the Seahawks are going to take another loss this week. I just have a hard time. I'm a buy. I'm a buy on Marvin Harrison because I think that every week that goes by where the Cardinals stay in contention, And the more that James Conner heats up, and James Conner is heating up, James Conner is looking good. But I think that James Conner and Kyler Murray in the run game, I think that's just going to open up more and more opportunities for Marvin Harrison to have opportunities down the field. And his drops this last week, kind of crazy for somebody who is supposed to be so polished out of college. But I really think that he's going to start to open up in what he's able to do. I think the emergence of Michael Wilson is going to open up more opportunities for Marvin Harrison as well. Teams know they can't just double Marvin Harrison now because Michael Wilson is a thing in that Cardinals offense. So to me, I'm a Marvin Harrison buy. I don't think you draft a guy that high and don't find a way down the stretch when you need him to figure out how to go to him.
Yep, I agree. Marvin Harrison's a buy. If you have him, hold him. Don't sell him. I think there's probably, if you're in that 1-4 category, right, 1 win, 4 loss category, I think there's different guys that you could sell. Don't sell Marvin Harrison at this point. He's too elite, and I agree with you, Chance. They're going to find ways to get him the ball. It's just a matter of time. Moving on to Dowdle,
He's next to are tough.
They're tough. Dowdle appears to be the number 1 running back in Dallas now. What are we doing with him? If you have him or if you don't have him, do you want him or should you sell him? Get something better. Chance, let's start with you with Dowdle.
I was hoping that you'd start on this one. You never start. You always just hand out these names to us. Rico Dowdle, to me, I think he's a buy. I lied. I think he's a sell. I think Rico Dowdle, he had in half point, 12.6 points in week 4. He had that awesome game against a good Pittsburgh defense this last weekend, 18.4 points, half point. They play Detroit. They have a bye. They play San Francisco. Detroit's been good against the run. San Francisco, outside of the James Conner game, has been pretty good against the run. Then they have Atlanta and Philly. I just have a feeling that the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones are going to be looking to add a running back at the trade deadline. I feel like they look at what
the pure bullying of social media will make them cite somebody.
I just like all of the crap that they're getting for passing on Braylon Allen. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we just passed on running backs, no big deal. And they could have such a better offense if they had an elite runner. I don't think Rico Dowdle is an elite runner. I think he is a product. And I know it's easy to say, well, running backs in a scheme are a dime a dozen. But this Cowboys offense with an elite runner would be so good. They'd be so good. I would take Rico Dowdle's great games that he's had, and I would sell him right now.
Justin, agree, disagree?
Man, I'm going back and forth on this. Like,
it's a tough one.
When I watch him play, I'm like, this guy's not a good running back. But then he ended up with 20 carries, 87 yards, 4.3 yards a carry. Like, I felt they kept taking him out in passing situations. He still got 2 catches for 27 yards. They kept using their fullback for like pass sets. Man, this is tough. I'm just gonna go on the eye test, and I don't think he's a good running back. Like, it's just he got a lot of opportunities. Like 22 touches. That's a lot.
That's
like
a
you'll
lot.
take that with any running back. Like you should get 100 yards of that. So I mean, one good game, maybe trade him. It's just hard. Like, do you bet on the offense or do you be like, no, this is fool's gold? So I mean, maybe just throw some fishing line out there. See what you can get. Maybe someone will trade you Tank Dell for him, or I don't know, like Brees and something. I mean, give someone maybe you can go get Brees. Maybe in my opinion. Right,
send a Dowdle for Brees Hall straight up.
No,
you
gotta package it. You gotta package it for sure. Maybe Dowdle and Olave. Maybe that gets you it. Maybe Swift. Maybe somebody would do Swift straight up. I don't know, but
I'd rather have DeAndre Swift. I would rather have Swift than Dowdle.
But maybe a Cowboys fans like, man, Rico Dowdle's the truth. But I would probably sell him.
Yeah, this is super tough, and you guys both nailed it. Zeke is irrelevant. He is not it. He's done. His days are over. They did give him, and they won the game, right? They won by 3. They gave Dowdle 20 carries. If he's going to get 20 carries to close out a game, that's hard to pass up. It's hard to not have that on your team right now. If they fall behind, different story. So I don't. It's really hard. My gut tells me sell him for the right price. Don't sell low. See if you can sell high. But he doesn't look like he does not pass the eye test, but he's getting the volume. Sell. I'm gonna sell. I'm just gonna stick with it and go sell. See what you can get out. Go find the Broncos fan who loves him and sell. Sell him to whatever you can get for him.
The Cowboys fan. Find the Cowboys fan, because not a Broncos fan with a brain in their head is gonna buy Rico Dowdle.
Yeah. Sorry, did I say Broncos? I meant Cowboys.
You said Broncos.
Sorry, Cowboys fan. Yes, get the Cowboys fan.
Both horse.
Yes.
Both horse related. I guess.
Both horses. All right, the last one, which we are all so high on, and we're waiting. Bijan Robinson, what do you do with him? I don't know. Justin, I'm going to start with you because this is your guy. He is Mr. ATL. What are we doing with Bijan? I'm waiting, Justin. I'm waiting for Bijan. I got him in almost all my leagues.
The thing is he's going to go off this week.
Yeah.
That's the thing
against
that
Carolina?
Sucks. Offensively, we're going to have a game. But, his snap percentages has,
You mean Algier?
Yeah. I love Algier. He is a bowling ball. I love watching him run because he punishes people. So his snap percentage has drastically gone down, 20%. He was at 82, 75, 89. The last two games, he was at 64, 67. He was a little banged up with a shoulder and a hamstring. I don't know if that has something to do with it. They have Carolina. Then they have a decent Seattle. Then they have Tampa and Dallas. And then they have New Orleans and Denver. So, not necessarily an easy schedule, but, these next 4 games I think they favor him, but, man, it feels like they want to get Tyler Algier involved. Darnell Mooney seems like a guy that is going to get targets. If you can sell him for a Justin Jefferson, a Jamar Chase.
Ooh, after this week? Oh.
I'm just saying, if you can get a stud, maybe you go out and get Nico for Bijan. Yeah. Just because running backs are scarce. I'm not opposed to trading him. I think he's gonna go off this week. Maybe wait 1 week, see what he does against Carolina, make sure that value is super high, and then maybe try and go chase the Jefferson owner, go chase the Jamar Chase owner. So I'm probably a wait and then sell kind of guy, but his snap percentages have scared me a lot.
Chance?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the snap percentage, and week 3 it was 82%, then it was 64, then it was 67. His attempts have gone down. I just don't know what they're doing with him. To me, I still believe Bijan. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they said, is Bijan Robinson the Garrett Wilson of running backs, where we think he is this absolute stud and maybe he's fool's gold? And I shut the podcast off right there. I said, absolutely not. I think Bijan is an absolute stud. It's kind of like the opposite of Rico Dowdle. Bijan Robinson passes the eye test to me. And I think that he should be good if he's on my team. I feel real confident. And I'm in a league where I'm 1-4 because I had Bijan and Brees as my running backs. And I didn't do enough to stay competitive because I said, I don't need to go chase waiver wire running backs. I've got guys. Now, with Brees and Bijan, I'm hurting. To me, I'm a buy on Robinson, though. I still think that, like I said, with trying to go and get Kirk Cousins off the waiver, I think Atlanta's going to move the ball. And I am going to bet that they're going to be in more red zone opportunities than most. And in the red zone, give me a back like Bijan Robinson to have an opportunity to score. So if somebody's down on him, I would go buy him.
Yep, I agree. It's very interesting, the split. When you look at it, it feels like Atlanta runs the ball, somewhere between that 20 and 30 times a game. But they're trying to split it between a third, 2/3 for Bijan and 1/3 for Algier, right? So it's almost like they're trying to protect Bijan a little bit, and he's not going to be the true workhorse. And it's kind of frustrating because you'll see him get 14 carries and hardly any yardage, and then Algier will get 8 carries for 60 yards. You're like, really? But Bijan's still in the passing game. He's getting way more pass attempts than Algier, and he's far more talented. You got to hold him. You got to hold him because you will kick yourself. You will kick yourself if he just goes off. You'll be so mad that you traded him and you're like, I knew it was there. So you got to hold him. Hold him, buy him where you can. So I'm a buy and hold on Bijan. I'm a truther with Justin in chance on this one. So keep him.
Nice.
Man, buys and sells, fellas.
That was a good one. I like that.
Yeah, agreed. So we will be back tomorrow, right? And we'll do our starts and sits, and we'll show you how right we were again. And you got to keep following us and all that business. So I got that stuff already marked out.
Were we good this week, Matt, or no?
I haven't looked, but I feel like we were good. I feel like we were good this week.
We were good. We were
Except
good.
for Watson.
You know what? I'm going to yeah, okay. Yeah. You're okay to have a couple. But tune in tomorrow and you'll find out if we were good or not. I will tell you that. Tune in and you can watch how well we help you guys win your leagues. So
Matt with the slow burn. Matt with the slow burn.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some anticipation for tomorrow. Gentlemen, we're right at the hour. Anything to add? We'll start with you, Chance, for closing comments and thoughts.
Man, Ashton Genty for Heisman, man. To get my college plug in there. Hey, Red River Rivalry SEC edition is this weekend.
Oh, so many good
Oregon
weekend. Oh,
Oregon,
yeah.
Ohio State.
State.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I know this isn't a college ball podcast, but I'm glad. I hope people tune in. And as many great upsets as there were this last weekend, I was so pumped when I shouted out Syracuse UNLV as being a baller game, and it was an overtime game. It's you gotta love those. You gotta love those. But that's all I got, man. That's all I got.
Justin,
My last piece of advice: trade Garrett Wilson away. Go see what you can get for him. Go trade him away because I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Devontae Adams is going to get traded to the Jets. And the Jets are a poverty franchise. That's just what I believe in.
all right, you heard it from Justin first. All right, everybody, thanks for watching tonight. You will catch us tomorrow on the 208. Until next time, we will see you next time. We are out of here.